Joining me to discuss all things Nevada primary, it is Hill reporter Julia Manchester. Julia, it's great to see you.
Good to see you too, Sagar.
Okay, so we're doing a little series here with Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. First of all, it's not a primary, it's a caucus. But tell us about Nevada. What do we need to know about it? What are the dynamics? Who's leading, etc.? And what order does it come in?
Well, it's really turning out to be quite a tight race. You have Joe Biden leading. I believe the latest Real Clear Politics average as of yesterday showed him about 5 points ahead. But Bernie Sanders is pouring quite a bit of resources into the state. He actually rolled out his first ads in Nevada yesterday. So I think you're going to see these two candidates really go neck and neck in that race. I think Biden is counting on the fact that there are a lot of Latino voters in Nevada, which he generally does well with. But I think Sanders, is, as he has with the African American vote, is going to target more youth minorities and such, which he does well with.
Well, we also know, though, that Sanders is doing quite well with Latino voters in California as well. So we have this story that he's actually launched his first TV ads in Nevada. It looks like it was one in Spanish, and that was less than a month before the Nevada caucuses. So what does that tell you as somebody looks at this, where the money is going? So they're serious about it, right?
They are absolutely serious. And I think part of this is not only that it's an early state contest that will give these candidates the momentum to go into Super Tuesday in South Carolina, but it's also bordering California.
Yes.
California is immensely important in this primary because it's very delegate rich. So Sanders is polling very well in California, is going to look to get that momentum, and especially in those western states.
So is Nevada a must-win for Joe Biden? What do you think?
I would think it is, because right now Joe Biden is a little hit or miss in Iowa and New Hampshire, and I think the media narrative that you've been hearing, you normally hear Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. Well, Nevada's right in the middle of that, and Joe Biden needs momentum going into South Carolina.
What candidates are we missing that are doing well in Nevada? Is there like I think Tom Steyer is doing quite well, right?
Absolutely.
Michael Bloomberg.
Michael Bloomberg, yes. Well, part of that with Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, especially with Michael Bloomberg, is that he's really targeting California. So I'm wondering if a lot of that is kind of bleeding over.
Same media market.
Exactly. And also another thing is Michael Bloomberg has such a high name recognition. I think that's a lot of what you're seeing in these polls is, voters essentially recognizing his name, recognizing his brand right now.
Well, I saw that Tom Steyer was, I think, number 3 in Nevada. This is anecdotal evidence, but somebody who was recently in Vegas told me you can't even turn on the TV without seeing Tom Steyer.
Absolutely.
Bloomberg, at billboards, just full Tom Steyer.
Right.
So, I mean, that kind of does change the dynamic a little bit, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And what's so interesting with Tom Steyer is I don't think he'll necessarily win the primary. And crazier things have happened, but I'm kind of fascinated to see which candidates he'll peel voters away from. When looking at Bloomberg, I think he'll most likely be the biggest threat to a Biden, a Buttigieg, maybe even Klobuchar, because he's more of a centrist. Steyer is kind of in this interesting, I guess, middle ground. He was in that need to impeach campaign. He really pushed that, and that was really his major issue. And right now he seems to have really taken on the climate change platform. So it kind of remains to be seen whether he'll peel votes away from the progressives in the race or the centrists. Okay,
well, it's very interesting. I mean, broadly, how does Nevada fit into this? It tells us a little bit about the Latino vote. It's right before South Carolina. What have the dynamics been in the past? Is it a bellwether for South Carolina in any way? I mean, how do when you talk to Democratic strategists, how do they look at Nevada?
So I think Nevada, I don't know if it's necessarily a bellwether for South Carolina, because I think South Carolina has a much more bigger, more engaged African-American population. However, I think it's a bellwether in terms of getting momentum going into South Carolina and Super Tuesday, and that's why Nevada is so important for Joe Biden.
Okay, and so, I mean, very interesting, especially when we retract the delegate math. Julia, thank you.
Thank you so much.
For joining us.
Yes.
We'll have more Rising for you right after this.